Gotta get my back support, cover my gut.
Jesus. Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love Fantasy Boys. We're back on the love train this week.
I'm your host, RJ.
And I'm Adam.
We're here to recap episode...
This is the most official way we've ever started this podcast before.
We're here to recap episode 7 of MBC's K-pop survival show, Fantasy Boys. We're doing a little segment where we get to read a couple of the funny comments that people leave in our video.
I actually do. Every morning I wake up and the first thing I do is check comments.
Just like Christmas. Santa's here.
Santa's here. Santa's left comments.
If Santa left a comment on one of our videos saying thank you for
Santa
support-
Claus said thank you for this program because I finally feel seen. Miss Claus is a beard, honey. He's got more than one beard on his face. On his face?
If Santa commented saying thank you for the support.
Santa!
Adam,
oh
you
my God.
fucking idiot. You were so stupid.
I forgot there's a person named Santa.
Sorry, Santa.
Listen, the show forgot there was a person named Santa, so.
Yeah, we'll get to that, mama.
Okay.
He's wearing too many goddamn clothes. Strip the man. I am laughing so hard right now. Thank you.
Okay, so RJ picked these, so I'm assuming every screen cap is just going to be like, RJ, you're funny.
You know, ordinarily, I would totally encourage you to just drop the show if you're so frustrated by it. But honestly, your recaps are so fun that I'm glad you're sticking with it so I can live the show vicariously through you. Your pain is my embarrassment. Entertainment. Your pain is my entertainment, lol. I am the same way. I am a person that if it's like, I'm done, I stop.
Unfortunately for RJ, I'm a completionist.
Yes. It's truly just a little
It
quirk.
is. I would say it's the biggest difference between us.
As my therapist has called out, I am no stranger to just leaving a project undone. So,
Did you want to schedule another therapy session for this week, or?
this one says, "That's funny how your every single review is my point too. I always tweet my thought on Twitter about Fantasy Boys situation, and I realize that every single review you give to this episode is the most relatable thing that I tweet since the 6th episode. Especially all of your thoughts about junwon. That's the thing that's made me pissed off the most last week."
Well, and to that commenter, we want to say just thank you for your Twitter, because that's just where we're pulling all our takes from. We've never actually seen an episode of Fantasy Boys.
Yeah, we actually just read your Twitter.
We just read your Twitter and then pull everything from there. So,
what really bothered me on this episode is how the mics are popping and peaking so much. There's not an audio engineer on the show. Not us.
It was the show. I was like, oh, drag us.
Not us. Sorry, Fantasy Boys. Hadn't they rehearsed before? Had nobody heard that and suggested, hey, maybe you should move your mics a little bit?
So, okay, semester 2 happened, right? And I saw people commenting that they were like, it seemed like the vocals were sweetened at the very least because it was so stable.
And I think I read comments. People were like, yes.
And at the time, I remember being like, sure. But also, like, we hadn't fully seen them do a performance yet, so I didn't know. Since the second semester, I feel like the vocals have been super not stable.
Raw.
Like, it's been very clear.
It's like distinct when they're sweetening. So like in Sugar Rush Ride, obviously some of the harmonies were sweetened because they're singing live one track. Get away! Like that was sweetened while they were singing Sugar Rush.
Let's say this. I'll say this episode, I was like,
Let's say those. Yeah.
Did you have coffee?
I did. That's kopi. I'm drinking my kopiko, just like in a K-drama.
In this episode, I was like, oh, they are not, these are raw
vocals, baby.
Vocals. Stability not to be found. To be found here.
Not a single compressor on that audio. They didn't match volume at all. They were just like, just plug it in.
Last week, you said that you didn't want anyone to leave spoiler comments. And so we got a lot of spoiler comments. I think you really opened the door for that one on your own. I don't care about spoilers.
You can also kind of tell that, oh, hello. People have been good about like, this is a spoiler, or like, this
clarifying.
This is me commenting after watching the newest episode. So I'll usually wait to read those until after.
There were some girlies who were like, besties, you're gonna love episode 7. And so maybe it was a little bit of like when I watched Inception for the first time, where I'd been told it was gonna be so good, and then I watched it and I was like, this is fine. And I thought this episode was fine. I thought it was way better than episode 6, but literally like anything could have been better than episode 6. I think episode 6 was horrendous.
Yeah. This 10 hours of white screen that we use
better
on
than
our
episode
TV
6.
to record is better than episode 6.
But I did think it was good. Were you sad that we split up performances again?
I am sad that we split up performances. I feel like the better performances are on the second half. Bless you.
Well, let's start from the top. In case we don't remember, last week, Daewee, Kaden, and Santa had been named as safe. And that was where we left it. So 28 is Yuma. 27 is Iraq. I'm not even going to say the number. Sangwoo, Doohyun, Hayato, Hyun, Jino, Hyunwoo, Myungjae is 20. Shiryu is 19. Shiryu also left the show.
This is all we got, was this screen of Shiryu left due to personal reasons.
Shiryu, honestly, it should have said Shiryu didn't feel valued by the fans in the audience, so he left the show, and I also would have found that just as valid. 18 is Sunghyun, Seokgi, Jaemin, Usok, Hyungun, Hikari, now the official 12.
Okay.
Daehyun is 12. Hikaru is 11. Gyure is 10.
Whew. Tough.
Semester 3 was his best semester yet. Minsaw is 9. Lingchi is 8. K-Soul is 7. We're going to have to talk about K-Soul later, but Taeseon is 6. Hyunbin is 5. Hyuntae is 4. Hanbin is 3. Junwon is 2. And Songmin stays number 1. I love this Junwon-Songmin rivalry. I'm
too.
eating it up. I think it's like a healthy rivalry.
Yes.
It really feels like it's not like malicious or mean or anything like that.
The rivalry with Junwon and Songmin is so good because it just keeps making Junwon look better. It feels to me still weighted one way because it's so clearly Songmin right now. You as an audience want Junwon to
get that first
spot.
I also don't think they've done anything to be like Songmin is worried about Junwon.
No, I think you can tell.
I think it's more the opposite. But like, I still don't even think it's Junwon being like, I don't want Songmin to get it. It's more just like, I really want to get first. I
really want to get first.
Consistent king being second every single time.
Girl, I would take that and run it with
run. 32.
32
is Bumjun.
Is Bumjun because you notice his name was not named. He got
10,000 bonus points. So no one voted?
is voting for him.
Not a single vote has been cast for Bumjun.
No one is voting for him, and he got these points.
His points in total were 10,000, and that was just because he that's how it feels.
That's how it feels.
We don't know for that for sure.
Which is interesting because as the episode develops, there's like opinions of Bumjun from the other contestants that I was like,
the theme of the episode was we have, as audience members, have no idea what's going on.
We are fully out of the loop from anything that is
because the contestants love K-Soul, or like K-Soul, I should say. Yeah. There is not an animosity toward K-Soul like there is apparently for Bumjun,
which was so great.
We'll get to that in a second. And then the person that was saved.
Who was producer's pick, Adam?
Producer's pick was 복대니얼.
Was Kurt
Mr.
Hamel.
LaChapelle.
I would say from raw talent alone, I would have saved Ivan. I do from a show perspective, from a producer's perspective, Daniel was like
he has shown the most
and shown growth.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be interesting to keep him around more.
What is your strategy? You're a producer on the show. Is your strategy pick someone who you like or pick someone who you think hasn't been able to show everything that they've got?
I think that.
The second one?
Yeah, and I think that would be my reasoning for picking Ivan. He's a good performer, specifically from Steeler, more so than Miro. Mm-hmm. Even though he wasn't bad in Miro, like the dance line was not bad in Miro, right. But I was just very impressed with him in Steeler that I really wanted him to stay.
Yeah.
How about you?
I probably would have picked TK, But I actually was fine with them saving Daniel
I am
because he
too.
actually did do really well.
He does do really well.
in
He
the third
is showing
semester.
growth. That's the thing. Like, all of the skills that feels like Daniel is working on are trainable. There are some girls who obviously, like, some of the things that he still needs to work on are just like more confidence on stage and like just like being a little bit more cool and seamless and effortless on stage. Cool. Boy, Daniel, book Daniel, get loose, Daniel.
Stupid. It's time for counseling corner, RJ. This should be there untucked. And I'm not kidding when I say that.
Yeah.
It should be right after the episode, and it should just be them talking to anyone. I don't care who. Doesn't have to be a producer. It could be anyone.
Staffs.
I don't care.
When they're getting their hair
Stylist
done and it's
Nunas.
just stylists.
Great.
Yeah.
I love Irang. Fully.
This story is about to take off, girl.
And I don't think he did this purposefully. I
No.
don't think he was like,
If
I need a narrative in order to get airtime.
No,
I don't think he thought about this.
Yeah. I think he was just being genuinely like, obviously everyone had an opportunity to share what they're going through, and that is genuinely his thing. It's like, I am aware enough to know that I am not popular and that another person my age is way more popular than I am.
Yes. He like name checks Hyuntae as his rival, which is so funny.
It's so funny. We call that obviously when he first did it, and now it's just fully realized.
Going back to like the rankings.
Yes.
Where they were, I think, about to name, they're like, they dropped from the top 12 and now they're out of the like 12. And Irang literally goes, Hyuntae, it's Hyuntae. I think it's Hyuntae. Pack it up, girl. Pack it up, honey. I'm sorry, need help packing, queen? And it was not Hyuntae, but it was so funny that he literally was ready
like,
for Hyuntae
oh yeah,
to
it's
not
probably
be in it.
Hyuntae. Oh my god, it's so sad. Isn't that crazy that Hyuntae probably dropped all it to this rank?
We're all in
Isn't that
agreement,
crazy?
right? There's something about it too where it doesn't feel.
It's not-
He's very like, I am jealous of Hyuntae.
Yes.
And
Very
normally,
genuine
like-
to his feelings.
Right. And normally jealousy, like for me, when I see it, is like I like am turned off by that. There's something about it where I feel like he is very cognizant of like his looks and like how he's being perceived, and not in like a I'm thinking about the show and I'm like producing in my own kind of headspace,
Yeah.
but like just in like a way where he's like, I wish I was like doing as well as Hyuntae is, and it's a bummer that I'm not, because I do think Irang is very talented.
Yeah.
I do think Hyuntae is probably the most talented
Yeah.
Mangne here.
Not me, baby. I am the jealous type. I get jealous. I have a very bad habit of in my head being like, oh, I could probably do that too. I could do that too. And then completely
but Tumblarity broke your brain when you were like 17 years old. So Tumblr really should pay for its crimes. The other counseling corner that I thought was interesting was Danielle being like, I'm not tall enough.
I'm not tall enough.
That's my biggest struggle on this show, is that I'm actually not tall enough. And they were like, oh, okay. Well,
Good luck with that. See ya.
have fun. Semester 4 gets announced.
We're here, baby.
And the theme is teamwork.
UNITY. UNITY. I say
So
unity.
I like this fun way that they have to decide.
Oh, girl. The Lord of the Flies descended upon the NBC studios because they were like, and you pick your own teams. Bye. And he just leaves.
Yeah.
And then they're literally just like, it was kind of crazy. And I love that
I could literally spend 40 minutes talking just about this picking process,
so
because
everyone went through it. When I tell you everyone was going through of like, well, I don't want to just pick people that are near me. I want to pick people that I know that I can work with.
This is like picking someone in class in order to like do a group project,
Yeah.
except like the stakes are 1,000 times higher.
Yes, exactly. You could go home.
And also, yeah, you could get flunked out of school practically. But also like you have your friends, but you're like cognizant that maybe your friends don't really work that hard or
Yes.
as good in the class as you are. And also there's a weird rank of the class as well that you're very cognizant of.
So they pick their teams.
Sungmin creates a group.
Okay, when we said I still don't know who Songmin is,
We found out.
we found out, girly. obviously no one is doing anything maliciously,
Mm-hmm.
but it just was so crazy that he was just like not cognizant.
I actually don't think it made
sense.
no,
it made
no sense.
No, he crafted a team to make this group because I want to create.
And he
a
has
strong
so
group.
much power to create a
He
group.
has so much power because
ranked
he
first.
is ranked first.
Mhm.
So people already know that, okay, if I'm in a group with Songmin, I'm probably going to be doing well because challenge is teamwork. The prize is teamwork. So it's a benefit for everyone. So
Right.
obviously people were like, okay, great, Songmin picked me. And then
Taeseon has started his own group where he initially like pulled junwon, and then Sungmin, I think, they were like looking for one more person.
they were like, we need one more person.
and he spotted Taeseon across the room, and Taeseon was like, "Come here," and Sungmin was like, "Sorry, bye," and then just like left the group that he had created, and then went to join Taeseon's group.
Yeah. Could say it kind of made sense because then he see like, oh, everyone is popular there.
Mhm.
If it's just people are going to vote who's the most popular.
Mhm.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be good teamwork. This is also the weird part that they were like, we're also deciding what concept we're doing, even before knowing the songs. Like they were like,
didn't. It was kind of crazy. I wonder
were
if they
like-
told them
I don't know.
that there's like these types of songs being done,
I
so at
don't
least they knew
know.
that much.
I think they were just going off of vibes because they were like, we're going to go for the powerful song. So yeah, Songmin leaves his group and his group is left unformed, like missing 3 people basically. And they were like, well, what the fuck? What the hell we gonna do now?
So the first team to make it, which we questioned,
Questioned because there were 2 teams that were running up that hill,
right?
running up that building. And it was K-Soul's team, which was like all international versus
the multicultural team.
Yes, multiculturalism.
Multiculturalism versus Taeson's team,
Taeson's
which
team.
is like the Avengers. I go by restaurant host stand rules. You do not sit at the table until you're, as a former host, you do not sit at the table until your party's ready.
I'm not gonna seat Songmin's table of 7 if 2 people are here. And
So
they're
if
still on
Hyuntae had
the-
ran and then the rest of his team had just walked
Walked.
over, they still would have been first. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
yeah,
I would have given it to K-Soul's team. I actually don't know if they would have picked Sugar Rush Ride.
I don't think this. I think the songs would still happen the way they would for those first 2 at least.
I think so too.
But it seems like K-Soul was really upset that he didn't make Sugar Rush Ride. But I don't know if his team would have been like,
We need to do Sugar Rush
we
Ride.
can't
I don't think they're a Sugar Rush Ride group. The Avengers get to pick 1st, and they pick Sugar Rush Ride. Irang ended up picking Sugar Rush Ride.
Yes, they were between 2, and he chose Sugar Rush Ride because
Okay, Irang was like, I
can't do sexy.
I can't do Sugar Rush Ride was his like he thought the group would do better with it, but I think he was like, I personally shouldn't pick Sugar Rush Ride, but I think the group will do better with it.
Yes.
So when you think of Sugar Rush Ride, do you think it's a sexy song?
No. In their minds, I think they think it's like, okay, it's like they're barely clothed. They're like the devil. You know,
There
it's
couldn't
about,
have been more clothing on them for this performance.
it's like supposed to be like, you know, devil's temptation. Like that's
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
point of the song.
I mean, I do.
I don't necessarily equate that as sexy. I think it's more just like,
Yeah, I
like
don't know.
fantastical. Like it's more.
I mean, there are sexy aspects, like the whispering is sexy,
yeah,
and
yeah.
like, but I don't think any of the like choreo is specifically. I think there are other sexy concepts where it's like, oh, you're supposed. Like, I think like Deja Vu is sexier than this.
Gone more like mysterious rather than sexy.
Yeah.
Mysterious doesn't have to be sexy. Mysterious can just be like spooky.
So then K-Soul's pick the multicultural group. They pick Ko Bop.
It's mid-tempo. It's in everyone. It's mid-range, pitch-wise. I think it's an easy song that everyone can get into.
There's not a lot of strain, I think, in
There's
Ko
not a lot
Bop.
of strain involved.
Yeah. The other thing too is like because it's not a terribly hard song, and I don't think the choreography was terribly difficult.
Exactly.
It should look perfect, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even without like totally ignoring Santa's situation, which we'll talk about in a second. But like, yeah, I would say
think
this. I feel like this song
This
is
is
sexier than Sugar Rush
Ride.
Ride.
I completely agree.
100%.
Because Sugar Rush Ride is Lost Boys.
Yes.
Like it's supposed to be
It's-
like
yes, that's literally what it is.
fantastical, like mysterious.
Yurei's team, which is the former Sungmin team. and they end up picking Energetic.
I think they got lucky picking this song. Like it is it's a pump up song that it's just like, and it's upbeat. Like I think they lucked out because they look like they had good vocalists in this group.
The fourth group that makes it up, which is the last group of 7, who I'm calling Team Not Bumjoon, because they literally formed their team to make sure that Bumjoon was not in it and ran away.
Yeah, Bumjoon was fully like latched onto Jino. And Jino and everyone in Jino's group was like, I don't want to work with Bumjoon. It was very tiring. They kept translating it being like, it's very tiring to work with him. Which I don't know if that means like all he does is gab. Or if it's like he's annoying, he's complaining all the time. Like I don't know what that means, but it's not good.
He's exhausting.
He's exhausting.
In some capacity.
Yeah.
They literally ran away from him. It was wild.
And Bumjoon kept being like, oh, no, I'll be good, I promise, I'll be good, I promise. And they were all like, no, go.
It was very clear that they did not. It was... Easy. I would have done a shiryu at that point, and I'd been like, I'm leaving the show for personal reasons.
Make my own subtitle.
Holding it.
I think it's because, we don't really see that much of like, I don't want to work with this person. I think this is the first time genuinely that we've seen
There were so many of them that had talking heads, which were like...
there were multiple... It wasn't just Gino.
It wasn't just... Yeah, it wasn't just like one person.
It was multiple people who felt that way. That I was like, oh, girl. Look inward. So they all formed a team because we kept kind of playing this game. Probably not any good songs left. The last 2 songs were an NCT Dream song.
My first and last, which is Bright. This is probably one of the brightest songs that's ever, apart from like doing a girl group song.
It was like early NCT Dream, so they very looked early. Like
babies. NCT babies.
Yes.
Muppet babies.
The other song was Not Today by BTS, which I said last week.
Not Today has one of my favorite BTS dances.
Not Today has one of my favorite Kim Taeyoung looks. Headband Kim Taeyoung.
Are you thinking of Mic Drop?
No, he also wears a headband here. Okay, Gatekeep.
Gaslight Gatekeep girl pie.
Jesus Christ. So they were like relieved that like they saw that Not Today was still there because they were being like, we're going to pick the power. We're a powerful concept.
Yeah, also I think it's a song that people can do.
Yes, exactly. It's going to be a lot of dance. I mean,
it's going to be a lot of dancing, but
it's got to be crisp. So unfortunately.
Oh, it has to be crisp. Not Today's choreo is so good because it's so clean.
So the last group is Miss Leftovers, and it is all rappers and Kurt Hummel. And now they have to do the NCT Dream song. And everyone, Taeseon starts cackling. Taeseon was like, Bumjoon is to sing NCT Dream? They hate this man.
I think I'm going to say something very controversial. I think the Sugar Rush Ride team should have done the NCT Dream song.
I agree. I think someone should have.
Between Energetic and Not Today, which one do you think does the best in the midterms?
I think Energetic will be like the best song. I have a feeling that Energetic is going to be good.
There we go.
So here we go.
On record.
Let's find out next week.
We'll find out next week.
What do you think? You think it'll be?
I think none of them are great.
And you know why?
No, I think that's right. I think Energetic is probably the song that like is the most fun and you're like the least stressed about it, which I think leads you to have a better performance.
I agree.
I think there's too much. Anytime they do BTS, also like there's so much writing on the fact that it is BTS. I think that's another thing that people gets in their head.
3 weeks of BTS. That's crazy.
When the final points from the audience all come in, it's the audience, the producers for the first time, the producers and the coaches all combine into a score. And specifically, they said to the audience, please be considerate when you're voting. Because I think they were really pissed about Semester 2. These shows have to be plausible enough that like if there is some like rigomoris, like at least it like doesn't look too crazy.
Yes. It's a fine line.
Truly the shiryu being like number 8 is just like it makes the show look really bad.
It makes the show look bad to say that someone else was a better dancer than the actual best dancer.
Right. But the problem was that the second challenge was who was the best in the position.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, I can't believe we're relitigating this, but the point is that they literally had to tell the audience, you have to get your fucking shit together because we're not playing around girlies.
Yeah.
So they've combined all votes, and then what it'll end up being is like there's 5 ranks. The team that gets first place, everybody gets a bonus. It was like 50,000. Like it's like an insane amount of points. And then second place, 3 members of the group get the benefit. And that's decided on by the leader.
By the leader.
This is what I said to RJ. I was like, the show hasn't really, I feel like Boys Planet made such a big deal about who the leader was every time. And this show really hasn't. So I was like, they really actually have to say it this time. Like, Songmin was an offhand comment that he was the leader. And it was only because he was like, I feel bad that I was injured. I was injured and I wasn't able to be there. Third place is going to get 2 members get the benefit. Fourth place, 1 member gets the benefit. And if I'm the leader, I feel like I'm sorry, I'm going to pick myself. You're out of your mind.
Because even at the end of it, if you're a leader and you pick yourself, I feel like that's still justifiable because I was the leader and I still did more to try to keep this group together.
Yeah.
Unless it's very clear that they didn't do their duties. So we get to, the episode is split, so we're only getting 2 performances today. So let's
only 1 score. We'll start with Ko Bop.
Shimmy, shimmy, Ko Bop. I think I like it. Infamous for Kai's
Trajectory. Let's say that. Yeah.
And you know what? He's doing his time now. He shaved his hair off. He's in the military.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I'm going. So Taeseon is the leader because he's the only one who volunteered for it.
He was the only one who volunteered for it. And also, he's the only one that can speak a common language that everyone can at least understand.
The drama of this group was Kaden is
not an adult.
He's 13. I think
13.
That's literally the trauma is that he's 13 years old. Also, he made a point of saying that he was 13 and that he doesn't do a sexy concept.
Yes,
and
literally.
I was like, correct.
And that's the thing. Even Queso was like, you have your own sexiness. Like, everyone has their own individuality to it, which I appreciate him talking to him everyone has their own confidence.
I mean, they're in it. You can't be like, yes, you're right, exactly. You don't have sexiness, so
you don't do the song.
Don't do the song.
Like, I think that's what he's trying to do. That like he has his own confidence that he can bring to the song.
Mm-hmm. But he also doesn't have confidence.
Does not have that confidence. He doesn't.
He is not Maria Von Trapp, honey. He does not have confidence. Okay. Now it is Mother's Day when we're recording this, so I'd like to shout out Caden's mom Yuma. Who really was a star in this moment of the show.
What a great episode for Yuma.
This is probably the best Yuma episode that we're gonna have on the show, to be honest. Based on
crazy to think that Yuma was at the 12 in that first episode.
I know. Isn't it crazy?
But Yuma was like, I just want to take care of Kaden.
Yuma is very sweet in this episode, and I like that they are all trying to support Kaden. It is very nice. Obviously, it's a teamwork challenge, so they need everyone to do well in order to do it. And then we get to the midterm, and they have to let someone go. There is a moment where Yuma's like, I'll happily go.
I'll happily go because I know that if we send Kaden over there, he'll even have a harder time.
Learning everything fast.
Learning everything again. No one speaking English in that team. It's going to be extra hard for Kaden if he gets the boot. And then they show it like everyone crying.
Yeah.
And then
Yuma lost it.
Yeah. And then they showed the performance. So you don't know who was dropped until the performance starts. And it
was Kaden. And his hair is pink now.
So I think, silver lining.
But here's the thing. Him and the other person that got dropped to the bright concept.
I know.
Which is what they should have been doing anyway.
I know.
First of all, here's what I would have said. If I'm wrong, I would have grabbed Hyuntae, I would have grabbed Yurei, I would have grabbed Kaden, I would have grabbed all the young little boys and girls, and I would have grabbed that NCT Dream song. Because that is what they should be doing.
I would have been like, no one is going to go for Bright. I think this is our opportunity to just go for it.
Right. Everyone was like, we gotta do powerful.
Who cares? Girl. No.
Especially like...
Stand out. If it's going to be a teamwork challenge, you have to stand out. Your team is the best. So stand out and pick the bright song.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the mangnes and like
Yuma. Yeah.
Mother hen and her chicks. Get the whole
roost.
coop.
Yeah.
The whole coop.
Yep.
So we get Ko Bop.
Oh. No, you forgot one thing. Santa broke his leg or something.
So, well, that's the thing. So we get into Ko Bop. The performance starts. And then Santa is on a stool as if he was...
yeah, they start the song then later
and
talk
then
about
later
it.
show that Santa is on a stool as if he's like... It's a park and bark cabaret, and he's just like, shimmy, shimmy, Ko Bop. I think I like it.
Doing some arm choreo. Absolutely.
And watching
this show wants him off the program so bad. It's actually very clear.
It sucks so bad because he has appeal.
They could have shown that before they got into it, so at least you weren't like blindsided by it.
They're so obsessed with the Mangne stories that they were like, I mean, obviously the Kaden story is like...
That was the A plot, but baby, every sitcom needs a B plot.
Every sitcom. For every episode about Monica and Chandler, you need to see what Joey and Phoebe are doing. What shenanigans they're getting into.
We hope Santa's doing well.
The way that they showed like 45 seconds of what is actually happening, and all we see is him going into an MRI, and then him describing it as, every time I turn my head, my chest hurts.
Like,
so I'm not dancing the song.
I can't even believe he's still on the show.
Santa, go
I can't
rest.
I can't believe they didn't make him drop out for like medical. That's crazy.
That's crazy. If you need to take an MRI, that's huge. That's neurological.
Girl,
baby.
Eureka had to leave the show because her foot broke.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not talking about the trainee. Eureka. Yeah.
Eureka.
안녕하세요. 미국에서 온 우리가입니다.
But it'd be a southern accent.
Yeah. 안녕하세요.
Stupid. Okay, what do you think of Ko Bop?
Bad. And it's not even the Santa thing, which
because I can fully disassociate from that.
Yes. My brain is developed enough to be like, boop. The Santa thing is I do wish that they did like when Felix was injured or something during Maniac, that he would like just walk in and do his lines and then walk away. I wish they just did that.
Oh, I have to talk about Stray Kids because the girls are mad. The girls misinterpreted what I said. I made a reference to Mito and then said OT9.
And then made a look.
And then made a look. And then said, what did I say?
And then said, and that's all I'll say about that.
And that's all I'll say about that. I am not OT9. First of all, I came into Stray Kids in Thunderous. I don't know the whole story. I don't... Stays are also very, like... They don't really like to talk about it. What I was meaning to say, I should say, is Miro was it was back when they were an OT9 group. It was back when there were still 9 members. That was like... That's how old... That's how... Because we were having a conversation how, like, early... Like, pre-God's Menu, I feel like, is what we were talking about, how that's when we felt like they came into their sound, that they is, like, specifically theirs. And so that's how I was, like, referencing, like, that's how old the song is that is, like, they were still 9 members. LOL, that's so crazy, because you don't think of Stray as 9 members anymore. You think of it as 8 members.
I think you were just trying to be like, yikes, it was OT9. Woof. Like,
Also that.
I think that was what you were just at a base joke level. That's what it was.
I mean, that was the joke, but it was also...
It's commenting on the fact that, like...
Commenting on the fact that
yes.
it was an old OT. Like, that was how old the song
but
was.
But it's funny listening back to it. I mean, when I edit the videos, I see his face. But
he kept it in.
But I kept it in.
Because he's out to get me. He is out to get me.
We need to keep a count on, like, how many times Adam gets canceled on the show.
Yeah.
Because
great. Fun.
We're climbing up on where the tally is running. All that to say, Ko Bop was not good.
They are just, it is so messy. And I don't know if because maybe there was some like reformations they had to do because Santa had to drop out.
Yeah.
So they had to but that should not affect the choreo itself.
But it's crazy because all of the producers and Miss Winner, main producer, was like, I'm just so disappointed that I do think the problems were not because of like reformatting, having to move.
No, I don't think that's it. I think that's
to move out
maybe a
Kaden
little
and
bit of it.
Santa. I think it is inherently, and I hate to say it, very not detail oriented. Which
No.
when you watch the like raw full cam, Kaesol is ahead again.
He's and behind.
Behind. Like he's not in time with everyone. And there's no cohesive direction with everyone. Like no one is in the same number. Like mentally.
So who's the center?
Yeah. And even the choreography feels like there's no center.
And I hate these costumes. Who's your standout?
Lingchi.
It's Lingchi. Lingchi for sure. And Yuma has that one moment where he does well, but just no one is like doing the choreo together. Like it's so it almost feels like they practiced in like 5 different rooms and then came together later.
It seemed like they all practiced individually and then did the number together. And the way that they showed the score was like, and their score is 2,600. And everyone's like, oh, wow, that's a lot. How do you know? You're the first one.
What does that mean? These numbers don't mean anything yet until we get like
the other
full
number.
picture. But listen, you guys should try to look for that or just the full cam with specifically watch the dance break
and watch Santa on the stool like clearly want to do everything but can't.
It's
tough. It's a tough watch. Anyway, that was Ko Bop.
Next we have Sugar Rush Ride.
To the viewers at home, they probably are like, oh, they're doing Sugar Rush Ride. Adam must be excited, must be jazzed.
Nervous because so much of the song is high. It's a very high song, very breathy. Some of it is purposeful and some of it is...
TXT has very intricate choreography, famously. They are purposefully trained in order to be able to sing with that choreography in mind.
Yeah. I think TXT is very... I think every group obviously is very... aware of their line distribution for songs, but I think TXT specifically like knows which members sound the best for what part, and also like a lot of their songs, or at least a lot of their title tracks, use different sounds.
Yes.
I do love this song though. This song is so good.
In a similar parallel path, I would say Irang feels like he is not fit for this concept. Plus the layers of I am a jealous type, I am with Hyuntae now, and now he's getting every line, he is excelling in the dance, he's doing everything better than me. When they're choreographing this dance break, there's a part where they decide, oh, we should be able to jump up and across, but we need someone to step on in order to leap. And obviously Irang is like, oh, at the moment, like, oh yeah, you could probably do it to me. But they keep showing it. And first of all, it does not look safe at all. Like an inch to the left and Songmin or Hyuntae could have stepped on Irang's neck and like fully decapitated him. But also just the idea that like that plus the talking heads that they're layering on top of that segment is Irang being like, I feel forgotten. This is not my concept. I'm just like, I'm not standing out in this group.
It's crazy because the editors half the time, I cannot believe that we forgot to say that Kaesol, when he did his speech, referenced the editing of the show.
That's right. When Kaesol got his number, I noticed that the editing of me in the episodes that have been released have not been favorable, but that is just me being myself. I am
absolutely getting a villain edit on this show.
But that's
and I'm going
just
to reference it in real time.
And all the contestants are laughing. All the producers are losing their minds. They're like, there is not a better reality show villain. I hate to say it. I have never seen one better. Like,
Omarosa wishes. They lost Irang.
They all voted for him. And Hikaru was like, I think we should all think about the image that we have to portray with a concept. I think that's the...
But also, like, the only other person that I think they would have gotten rid of was Daewee. They were not going to get rid of ranked 1 Sungmin. They weren't going to get rid of ranked 2 Junwon. They weren't going to get rid of ranked 4 Hyuntae. They weren't going to get rid of ranked 6 Taeseon.
Yeah.
Like, As opposed to Kaden, who I think like has a lot of room to grow. I think like Irang is good. And I liked when he was like, when they were doing the vocal practice, how he like really, I thought he had embodied that like,
yes,
sugar rush, sugar rush, sugar rush.
He was
sugar
being a
rush,
lost boy. There's like a mischievous.
I don't think Hyuntae has that. I think Hyuntae is very good, but I think Hyuntae is very polished.
Yeah, he is just like charging through in this song.
I hated these costumes. I don't know why I hated them. I don't even know if I can put a finger on it because I don't know what they should have been wearing, and I don't need them to exactly mimic what the music video is, but like
it needs to be a little flowier. It was too rigid for me.
Yes, it's so rigid, and the song is so not rigid that I was like
flowier clothes.
Those are like Prince costume. Prince the concept, not Prince.
Yes, not artist formerly.
Artist formerly known as Prince. I hated these outfits, but it's not my favorite performance on the show, but I think the first part of the song is really good. And then I think at the end when the chorus picks back up, I think it kind of falls apart.
Don't like the dance break either.
Who is making the music for these dance breaks? Because that dance break music does not fit that song. It feels like whatsoever.
It truly feels like they just pick out samples and put it in.
It doesn't go with the song at all, and also none of that choreo went with the song. And if it was the challenge that they had, that choreo did not match the rest of the choreo, and I don't think you're supposed to exactly mimic the rest, but like it's still supposed to be in the same world of the rest of the song.
Tell me how this song evokes a breakdance moment.
And also, like, not done well. I'm so sorry. Like, Songmin, I think, is very talented. I, unfortunately, at this point, really need him to not be first because I think he's, again, like, really talented, but, like, he's not, I don't think, trying to get better with each challenge. Whereas I do feel like junwon is.
Not that there's not a challenge every time, because obviously, like, last week was a challenge for them. I needed him to be in that original group that he picked out.
Yes, I agree.
Because they were, like, not top people.
Yes.
And so they were, and more individual.
He also should not have been the center of that dance break. The best dancer in that group is either junwon or Hyuntae. For some reason, they gave it to Songmin, and I do not agree or think that was a good decision.
He has his moments. Obviously, I think concept-wise, I think him and junwon do the best in the concept. Taeseon is like okay.
Taeseon is good. Taeseon's vocals sound great.
Taeseon's vocals, Hiko's vocals sounded really good actually.
Okay, in the first part, but
I think everyone gets a little like out of breath.
It's not and he ends the song and it is right on his break, so he had to keep switching between his chest voice and his head voice.
Like those are like falsetto, chest, chest, which is crazy because I think Songmin has that presagio more because he was mixing on his line.
Yes, he was like mixing almost to a full belt.
So I almost wish that he mixed, but
yeah,
I don't think he can yet. I think he's still developing that, but. I think junwon.
Sorry, we're getting so technical.
Applied voice. I think Songmin and junwon have lived the concept the most. There were moments when Songmin was like living in the concept, like the sleepy eye, obviously, like the deja vu-ness of it that worked.
The Yeonjun. He really gave me Yeonjun in this, and I don't mean like. I think he is very similar in like his. His like it factor. He has that, which I think that is the one thing junwon lacks is like that like like the kind of the swagger almost.
Yes, I think junwon is a better like actor. Like there's I think he will give a performance. He taps into it through acting a little bit more rather than Songmin, which I do think is more natural in like I am cool. Yeah, really the performance ends and then the episode ends.
We don't get a score. So we don't know. I'm assuming they did. I'm assuming they did better than Ko Bop.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume so too. Here is my new 12. I officially lost someone, Shiryu, from last time.
We all lost.
Number 12, Hikari.
Okay.
Number 11, Hasoki. Number 10, Kang Daehyun. Number 9, Kang Hyunwoo. Number 8, Kang Min-seo. My Kangs are still around. Number 7 is Hong Songmin. Okay. Now I want to say, these next 6 names that I name will be in the running for America's Next Top Model are my no questions asked they have to be in this final group. They need to be, like, these are my ride or die through the rest of the show. It's very plausible for all of these 6 to make it to the finals.
Santa's in this?
Okay, here we go. Number 6, Moon Hyun Bin.
Yeah.
Number 5, Santa.
Yeah.
Number 4, Hikaru.
Wow.
Number 3, Lee Han Bin. Number 2, Ling Chi. And number 1, Yoo Junwon. They have to be in the finals.
Who was 3?
Lee Han Bin.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not joking with that 6. Those 6 better be in that final episode, or
It's gonna be a one man podcast.
It's gonna be a one-man podcast, and me in the back, just on the camera.
My 12 have changed. I don't know to what extent. I did not compare them to last week, but I believe they changed. Number 12 is Santa. I am coming to terms with the fact that he is not going to be on the show.
Yeah. Medical or votes. If he had to go through an MRI, girl.
Think about this too. If Ko Bop is not first, which if they're first, we are really, I mean, are we continuing the show? Yeah. But if Ko Bop's not first, there's only a select number of benefits that are going to be given.
And I don't think you, well.
And do you think K-Soul is going to give Santa the benefit?
Make a good point.
So I'm coming to terms with the fact that I don't think Santa's going to continue.
Stars. That's okay. He can, be on another BL, be in a different group.
And that's what
fruitful career for Santa.
A fruitful career.
And I'm eating the fruits. And the juices are
Okay. Number 11, Kang Daeyeon.
Strip the man.
Number 10 is Jino. Number 9 is because we stan a king who knows how to say no to people.
Yes.
Jino, and then 9 is Jaemin. And then 8 is Hikari. I do not have Hikaru on my 12.
Wow. What is it about? You prefer a Ri over a Ru. Lala Reaver over Mama Ru. Say that.
I prefer Lala Ri over RuPaul Charles. RuPaul Charles. I don't know. There's something about Hikari where I like his energy more. I don't know what it is.
It's a little bit more boyish charms, I think, with Hikari than Hikaru. Hikaru is like more polished. I mean,
yeah, but usually I like polish, so I genuinely don't know what it is. There's a wall there for me. 7 is Hyunbin. 6 is Songmin. I dropped him from my top 2. Number 5 is Hanbin. Number 4 is Hyunggun.
Oh, you put him in.
Mm-hmm. Number 3 is Hyuntae. Now, I don't want to hear it. That's all I'm going to say.
I will say, like, same reasoning with Santa. If there's going to be one, at least pick the one that is, like, actually talented and feels, like, emotionally mature enough to be like, this is a job. I can look at this objectively.
Yeah.
Because I do think, like, Kaden, I think, like, I would say Kaden and Gyure are probably the least emotionally mature to handle this business.
You don't think it's K-Soul?
Oh, sorry. Between the Mangnes. I'm so sorry. Not in the Mangne category. Yeah, K-Soul number 1. I think Irang and Hyuntae are the most.
And I really didn't feel this about Yoojin. Like, I think Yoojin from Boys Planet is, like, super talented, but there were always so many other options that I was like, oh, I never feel like I have to resort. And
That's true.
Really feel like I have to feel like I am picking I have to pick a Mangne because I don't think there's many options that I'm impassioned
you can pick this
by.
person. Yeah. Hyuntae really is talented beyond his age.
Yes.
Like, not categorizing him just as a Mangne, he is one of the most talented people in the show.
Yes. He's number 4 on the roster, and I think that's correct.
Yeah.
I think that's the right where he should be. Yeah. Gyure, number 10? Maybe not. Number 2 is Junwon, and number 1 is Ling Chi.
Yeah.
Even with, I think Ko Bop was a mess, and I don't think he, killed. I am, anytime they show me anything with Ling Chi, I'm just like,
glued to the TV. He is so cute. He's
full
so
hard
charming.
eyes. Like I can't.
Yeah.
He's
They even did the
so
thing when
cute.
they were getting ready for the 4th semester, and they were like, "Oh, Lingchi, you're so cool, moshi soyo," and he still kept being like, "No, it's mashi soyo. It's tasty. I'm tasty. I'm not cool."
Yeah.
That's so cute.
He's so
I mean,
cute.
to be able to be like, it's a bit now. Like, it's my running
Also,
thing.
the like, and you know, whenever they show this, you know that the Koreans are like, oh, yes, we love to see this. It's the like, he was
Him
practicing
learning.
his speech
Yes,
to
he
make sure that he
practices
was like doing it
Yeah.
correctly. But I do love junwon.
Me
And the hybe really jumped out when he did Sugar Rush Ride.
I know.
Jumped right out.
I know.
Do you think we're getting the rest of the performances and then the elimination too?
Probably. Or they'll hold off. Okay, now there's 8. That's episode 8. 9, 10, 11, 12. So semifinal. Final? Where are the rules? I forgot to read that one comment that was like, I'm the person who runs the Wikipedia, and it's
yes.
hard to watch the show because they never show me anything. And they even were like, I had to write the stickers because that really is one of
The only data
things.
points they've shown on the show.
So
Well, now you have 2,600. So
eat up that number.
Type that into
The row.
wikipedia.org.
Yeah.
And donate to wikipedia.org. Please keep the site running. So, bye.
Bye.
Discovering voices, building worlds. The Ampliverse.